What's going on, guys? This is the second Florida video from the time I went down there to fish with Bryan of Pushin Water Kayak Charters. And I am going to narrate most of this because I was not making any sense out there when I was fishing. I don't know, I'm not a morning person, and as I watched this video, I realized, you really can't tell what's going on. So I got to narrate it. But yeah, we started off at first light, hoping to catch some tarpon, and they were rolling and feeding pretty good here at first light. And I had hooked one the night before on like a fairly light jig head, and the fish trashed my jig head right there. You saw that tarpon jump. He was rolling there. I was just kind of fishing right, 20-30 feet upstream of him, trying to get him, and I didn't. But yeah, I was throwing a magictail bucktail, 1.5 ounce with an Elias shad on the back of it, and that bucktail has like a super strong hook, which is what you need if you do hook into a tarpon. But yeah, I couldn't get bit. Bryan was over on shore throwing the cast net around, and he got some live baits. Right here, he's hooking me up with a ladyfish, nice 12 to 14 inch ladyfish. Said that those things are good for catching tarpon. So I don't know, rigged it up on like a little 5/0 circle hook, 6/0 circle hook, and drifted it back behind the kayak right into the zone where these tarpon were rolling. And I got a good bite, and I was like, dude, this is it. But then I set the hook, and it was kind of light, and I was not really sure, and I kind of reeled it in, and it was a sail catfish. It was a freaking like 3-pound fish, and he ate a pretty big bait, almost the same size as him. I mean, I couldn't believe that that catfish ate that ladyfish. These catfish down in Florida are super aggressive and ballsy and keen predators. I don't know, they feed on the surface, which is kind of crazy. I'd never seen catfish do that before. So after that fish killed my ladyfish, I was going to go get another live bait from Bryan. But instead, I kind of just started casting a topwater lure at breaking fish because there was, fish breaking everywhere. And I hooked up again on the topwater popper, and for sure thought it was a jack, maybe a snook, and ended up being another catfish, which, I didn't think that these catfish were predators like that. I thought these things were more bottom-dwelling scavengers, like most catfish are. But yeah, these Florida sail catfish are straight-up predators, and not afraid to feed on the surface. And then later, I was throwing a live mullet, same deal, drifting it behind the kayak. I was fishing next to Elias, and yeah, there was a frickin' fish trying to eat my mullet. Elias got a glimpse of it. He was like, dude, it's a catfish, pull it away from him. And I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, this sail catfish, you can see that its dorsal fin zipping across the surface. That's how you knew it was a catfish, is that fin sticking out of the water. And I didn't let him eat my mullet because these mullet are like gold down there. Even so, I didn't get anything on the mullet, and I went back to the popper, and I was actually sitting here talking to the guys when I seen some fish bust right in front of me, and I made the cast and hooked up really quick. It was like a perfect cast, landed right on their head, and would turn out to be a decent-sized Jack Crevalle. And the only way I was hooking up with a Jack Crevalle on the topwater was if the popper landed right in front of him. You would see 2 or 3 jacks at a time cruising and hitting baitfish, and the baitfish would jump like 2-3 feet out of the water. And when they landed back in the water, another jack would come and hit them. And yeah, the only way you get bit on the topwater is if it landed right in front of their head. Right here, I was blind casting, and I was getting all kinds of swirls and stuff. The fish would like half-heartedly hit it, but they wouldn't actually eat it. So I put the jig on. I think I only got 1 fish on the topwater, so I went back to the jig. The day before, I was doing pretty good with the jig. And, yeah, right here, I mean, jacks were blowing up pretty good. You got to be quick. These fish are only up on the surface for a few seconds at a time. It reminds me a lot of false albacore fishing back here in the Northeast. You got to be quick. You got to be accurate. And if you are, you'll get them. And right here, I got them. And there was quite a few of them. There was like 4 or 5 jacks right here blowing up on the mullet. And, yeah, man, they're decent size, 6 to 8 pounders. hitting the bucktail. And the tarpon did not cooperate for us this morning. It was really only like the first little bit of daylight that we were seeing the tarpon consistently roll, and for whatever reason, we couldn't get bit. I guess they're really smart and educated and elusive down here, but the jacks are not. The jacks are much more cooperative, and we caught a good number of them. Not like, dozens, but we got more than a few, and so eventually came a point where I was sick of the jacks and I wanted to catch some other fish, so I went in closer to shore and I fished the docks for snook. And I tied on these little 5-inch or like 4-inch saltwater assassins and got right up inside, the shade of the dock. And I've seen Land Shark Fishing on YouTube, who's a guy down in Florida, and he catches the shit out of snook, just like fishing these docks in the daytime, wading, fishing really shallow water with small, soft plastics. And a lot of the fish you catch are small, but occasionally you can get like slot fish or over slot fish doing that. So that's what I did. I threw little jigs at the docks, hoping to catch snook. So I definitely did catch some snook. They were mostly small, and I was fishing this dock, and you can't really see it. It's out of the frame of the GoPro, but there was a pretty big boat docked here. It was like a 35-foot boat. And the people living there were not happy that we were fishing this dock, or that I was fishing this dock. They must have just woke up. But anyway, listen to them honk their horn at me.
There's a lot of fish on this dock. Alright.
I think I was fishing this dock for about 15 minutes before these people started honking at me. And in the 15 minutes I was there, I caught probably 4 or 5 fish. A couple small snook. No, I think this was the 3rd snook, and I think I had 2 jacks and 3 snook. And then these people in their boat really started honking. They honked loud. I don't know. Check it out.
The current. Yeah.
So yeah, they also had their boat running along with the honking, and I didn't get bit like 5 minutes. I don't know, after 5 minutes of not getting bit next to this boat, I made a move, fished around some other dock pilings. This little tiny snook under the bridge was the only fish I caught before going to the other side of the estuary or the river, whatever. Found these concrete pilings, and there was actually decent fish hanging out in the concrete pilings.
Hey yo. Oh. Hey yo. Hey yo. A little nicer snook. A little nicer. Oh yeah. I popped off. There's one. Oh. There you go. He's not bad. Oh. Alright. He's about the size of the one I lost. Yeah, he's not bad. That's the nicest snook of the day. Oh, he just popped off. Let me get him before he messes himself up here. Relax, Mr. Snook. These things do not like to cooperate once they're in the kayak. Yeah, not bad. This was one of the day, at least. Let him go. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. That's a nice one, dude. Alright, he's not that big, but... Dude, I thought he was big. He's not bad, though. He's definitely not bad. Alright. Got our saltwater assassin that time, and that was our last one. Yeah, there he is, man. Not bad, dude. Nice looking snook. I don't think he's a keeper, but he's really cool. Gonna go ahead and let him go. Wow, he's got some parasites on his eye. of all places. Alright, let's let him go. Sweet fish. Don't want to keep him out of the water longer than we have to. Fought really good. Definitely thought I was going to lose him. There he goes. It's pretty good. I like it.
Alright, you did not see it happen, but it happened. Okay, when that snook, when I hooked him, he ran towards the piling and I thought I was going to lose him. I don't know, I stepped on the mirage drive. You know, I put the heat down. You know, I was trying to move real quick, so I put a lot of pressure on the pedal on the mirage drive is the point, and it broke. I could feel it. You know, the second I went to go chase that snook, I could feel it pop. I knew it was bad. And that was pretty much the end of the day. I called over Elias and Bryan and said, you know, my mirage drive is broken, and that was about it.
Alright guys, well the day ended abruptly when my mirage drive broke, which is nothing new. It always happens like that. But yeah, we're getting out of Florida. It was a really good time with Bryan of, what's the name?
Pushin Water Kayak Charters.
Pushin Water Kayak Charters. And you do inshore, offshore.
Inshore, offshore, freshwater, everything basically in South Florida.
Peacocks, clown knifefish, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the offshore stuff. We were trying to get offshore the past 2 days, but it was too rough. So we stuck with the inshore. The inshore was good. Definitely recommend Bryan if you guys are looking for kayak fishing in Florida, southeast Florida. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. And you got anything else or?
No, it's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. See you guys.
Got the name.
Yeah.